Albert Andrew Schmid was born in the Burlholm neighborhood of Philadelphia, the second son and third child of Adolf and Marion Schmid, who both came from Germany to Philadelphia in the early 1880s. His father worked as a truck driver and a baker. His mother died around 1932, and his father remarried in 1934. Albert, also known as Al, of course, moved out around 1938, eventually becoming an apprentice steel burner at the Dodge Steel Company in Philadelphia in 1940. Hello and welcome to The Ultimate Sacrifice, created by Bill Reisen. My name's Louis Marsh. I'm senior pastor of River Church right here in Parker, Arizona, and your host for this show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll watch all the way through. Please give us a like and subscribe, and now let's get into our story. Schmid enlisted in the United States Marine Corps on December 9th, 1941, after hearing on the radio about the December 7th Pearl Harbor attack. He received recruit training at Parris Island, South Carolina, and further training at New River, North Carolina, where he was assigned to the 11th Machine Gun Squad, Company H, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division. While on leave, he used a $60 bonus, that's roughly equivalent to $1,108 today, from his employer to purchase an engagement ring for his girlfriend, Ruth Hartley, a salesgirl who he first met in May of 1941. The first Marines landed on Guadalcanal on August 7, 1942, the largest Marine force ever engaged in a landing operation up to that time, and the first American offensive against the Japanese. Schmid, a private, was assigned as an assistant gunner and loader of a three-man crew manning an M1917A1 Browning heavy machine gun, water-cooled .30 caliber. Whew, there's a mouthful. Led by the crew's commander, Corporal Leroy Diamond, and Private First Class Johnny Rivers as the gunner. Schmid refused medical treatment for a serious foot infection in order to remain in combat with his fellow team and Marines. On the night of the 21st of August, an assault force of 800 crack Japanese infantry troops sent from Rabaul on August 18th under the command of Japanese Colonel Keano Ichiki attempted to break through the 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines perimeter and recapture the hotly contested Henderson Field airstrip. To reach it, Ichiki's infantry regiment had to cross the Ilu River. Corporal Diamond's team was entrenched and posted on the west bank. The Japanese assault began under the light of flares at about 3 a.m. Partway into the assault, PFC Rivers was killed. Private Schmid took over the gun and fired it for over 4 hours. As the assault progressed, Diamond was seriously wounded in the arm, and several bullets hit and shredded the Browning's water jacket. Guided by Corporal Diamond's fire direction, Schmid kept shooting the gun by himself and loading the 250-round belts of ammunition without any help either. Utilizing short bursts to avoid overheating and jamming, Schmid kept firing the machine gun, even though it glowed red hot. Ultimately, a crawling Japanese soldier threw a grenade into their machine gun position, wounding Schmid in the shoulder, arm, hand, and face. In spite of being blinded by the blast, Schmid resumed manning the gun, both firing and replacing ammunition belts in response to physical and verbal cues from Diamond as the Japanese continued to pour across the Ilu, firing their weapons at the gun emplacement covered by a sniper firing from a tree across the river. The next morning, over 200 dead Japanese were counted in front of Schmid's position. Only 15 of the original attackers survived the assault. A solitary soldier among the 800 escaped unwounded, and Colonel Ichiki, he had committed suicide. I have stood there. I've been to Guadalcanal. I've stood on that riverbank. I've walked across that sand. Boy, oh boy, those Japanese were absolutely, completely exposed. And it's a wonder that they even attempted it, but they did. All three the Marines that we've talked about, Rivers, Diamond, and Schmid, were awarded the Navy Cross for extraordinary heroism. Schmid receiving his medal at the Philadelphia Navy Yard on the 18th of October, 1943. He was also promoted to corporal, and he was later promoted to sergeant. His citation reads as follows: "The President of the United States of America takes pleasure in presenting the Navy Cross to Private Albert Andrew Schmid, United States Marine Corps Reserve, for extraordinary heroism and conspicuous devotion to duty while serving as a machine gunner of the 11th Machine Gun Squad, Company H, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, 1st Marine Division, in action against the enemy Japanese armed forces at the Tenaru River, Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands on the 21st of August, 1942. Lacking protection of riflemen, Private Schmid's machine gun squad was forced to tear down its frontal protection to meet the oncoming strong Japanese landing force in spite of tremendous difficulties. The enemy attack was courageously met and repulsed by fierce and determined fighting, during which Private Schmid was seriously wounded. His personal valor and loyal devotion to duty contributed to the defeat of the enemy." His life story appeared in an American news magazine at the time, and the book, Al Schmid, was written by Roger Butterfield. In June of 1946, Schmid was named Father of the Year in Pennsylvania, and the Democratic Party nominated Schmid as a candidate for the Pennsylvania Secretary of Internal Affairs office, but he lost that election. Schmid eventually recovered partial sight in one eye, but problems with his leg during cold winters led him to retire in 1950-70 and moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, with his wife and 2 sons. Schmid married Ruth Hartley on April 4th, 1943. They had a son, Al Schmid as well, Jr., and in June 1944, Al Schmid spoke at war bond rallies across the nation before being honorably discharged from the Marine Corps on December 1st of 1944. He remained in the public eye throughout the war, largely through Roger Butterfield's book and the Warner Brothers film released in August 1945 called Pride of the Marines, with Schmid's role being played by John Garfield. Al Schmid died of bone cancer on December 1st, 1982. On December 6th, he was buried at Arlington National Cemetery. His wife, Ruth, was also buried in Arlington National Cemetery on September 12th, 2002. As to the question of why he didn't receive the Medal of Honor for his action, well, there's no real answer. The awarding of medals is a complicated, technical, and at times, as we will see and talk about later this season, at times a very political issue. So we don't really know, but that's just the way it worked out. But he was rewarded the Navy Cross, which is just below the Medal of Honor for the Marine Corps, and quite an honor in and of itself. A brave man who sacrificed so much in service to our country. Let's remember him with gratitude today. Hey, Editing Louie here. Glad that you're watching the video. Hope you've enjoyed it to this point, but I wanted to let you know about something that I discovered as I've been going through this video, putting the pictures in and all that stuff. I found a short video done by a man who knew Al Schmid, knew the family, and talks about him and his life story from a very personal perspective. It's not that long. I actually considered taking it or part of it and putting it in here, but I think it would be better. So there's a link at the bottom of the page. You can see right now the bottom of the video, I should say, not page, and you can just follow that link if you'd like to go and visit that page and look at that video, because I think it's well worth your while. So let's now go back to your regularly scheduled Ultimate Sacrifice. And that's going to do it for another edition of The Ultimate Sacrifice. I'm Louis Marsh, Senior Pastor of River Church here in Parker, Arizona, and I want to thank you so much for listening. I want you to notice the QR code over there. Click it, snap it, do whatever you do with it, and go check out my other podcast, which is called Tales from the Scrypt, real Bible stories with real history coming together to show you just how accurate, historically speaking, the Bible really is. You might be surprised. So check it out. And until next time, please like, please subscribe. Take care. God bless you. And I'll see you later.